Have you ever thought about what would happen if you were sitting at home, maybe reading your favorite book or sipping tea, and suddenly your chest tightened, the pain creeping up your arm, your breathing growing short? For many people, that thought is too scary to even imagine. But the truth is, for those of us over 60, it's something we should prepare for. Not out of fear, but out of love for life and the moments we still want to enjoy. Heart attacks don't give warnings you can schedule around. They arrive like an unexpected storm. And sometimes we're alone when they do. But what if I told you that there's something you can do in those first 10 seconds that could mean the difference between making it through and not making it at all? 10 seconds. That's not much time, but it can be enough if you know exactly what to do. First, let's talk about why this is so important. As we get older, the chances of heart disease increase. According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, someone in the United States has a heart attack every 40 seconds. Many survive because they get help quickly. But when you live alone, every second before help arrives is entirely in your hands. The problem is, in those moments, your thinking can become foggy, panic can set in, and your body might not respond the way you expect. That's why knowing exactly what to do before you ever need it is so powerful. I want you to imagine something with me. You're in your living room, you feel that pressure in your chest, maybe it's spreading to your shoulder or jaw, your heart rate feels strange, you realize something is very wrong. Right there, you have a choice. Freeze, hope it passes, or act immediately. And the truth is, most people wait, thinking maybe it's just indigestion, or they don't want to overreact. But waiting is the most dangerous thing you can do. In a heart attack, time is heart muscle. Every minute without action can cause more damage. So the very first step, before anything else, is to get help on the way. If you can speak, call 911 right away. If speaking is hard or you feel faint, press your phone's emergency SOS button. On most smartphones, you can hold down the power button and volume button at the same time to trigger an emergency call without unlocking the phone. If you use a medical alert device, press it. Even if you can't talk, stay on the line. Dispatchers can track your location from your phone in many areas, and every second they're trying to find you is a second you're losing. Once that's done, or while it's happening if you're able, take a regular strength aspirin, 325 milligrams, and chew it. Don't just swallow it whole. Chewing gets it into your system faster, helping slow down the clot that's blocking blood flow to your heart. This is one of the most proven, life-saving steps in a heart attack. It's simple, but it works. Studies published in the New England Journal of Medicine have shown that early aspirin use significantly improves survival rates when taken at the very start of symptoms. Now, here's something a lot of people don't think about until it's too late: making your home emergency ready. If you live alone, unlock your front door the moment you realize you're having a heart attack. You might feel silly doing it, but if you collapse before help arrives, an unlocked door means paramedics can get to you immediately. Otherwise, they may have to break in, costing valuable minutes. While waiting, sit down in a comfortable position, preferably upright with your back supported. This helps reduce strain on your heart and makes breathing easier. Try to remain as still as possible. Movement demands more oxygen from your heart, and that's exactly what it's struggling to supply during a heart attack. Breathe slowly and deliberately, in through your nose, out through your mouth. It can be tempting to pace or fidget, but stillness is your friend here. Some people ask about so-called cough CPR, the idea that you can keep yourself alive by coughing hard every few seconds if your heart stops. This has been widely shared on social media, but here's the truth. It's not recommended outside of a hospital setting. The American Heart Association has said there's no evidence it works for a sudden heart attack at home, and it could actually waste precious time. Instead, focus on the steps we know save lives: getting help on the way, taking aspirin, reducing movement, and preparing your space for emergency responders. Here's the most important mindset shift to remember. Acting fast is not overreacting. You might feel embarrassed if it turns out to be something less serious, but you should never feel guilty for calling for help when your life might be at risk. In fact, people who survive heart attacks often say the only reason they made it was because they acted right away, even when they weren't completely sure what was happening. It's far better to get checked and find out it's nothing than to wait and find out it was everything. When you're alone, you are your own first responder. And those first 10 seconds are about one thing: buying yourself enough time for the professionals to get to you. That's the power you have, even when it feels like everything is out of your control. You may not be able to stop a heart attack from happening in that moment, but you can absolutely change the outcome. Now, while those 10 seconds are all about immediate action, what you do before that moment ever comes can be just as important. Preparing ahead of time gives you a huge advantage, because in a crisis, you won't be thinking clearly. You'll be relying on instinct. And if your instinct is shaped by preparation, you'll have a much better chance of making it through. One of the simplest but most powerful things you can do is keep a phone within reach at all times. That might sound obvious, but think about the moments in your day when your phone is across the room charging, or left in your bedroom while you're cooking in the kitchen. In a heart attack, even walking a few steps could make your symptoms worse, or cause you to collapse before you can call for help. A cordless phone or a mobile phone in your pocket can mean the difference between making that call and not making it at all. For some, a smartwatch with an emergency call feature is even better. One tap on your wrist, and help is on the way. Medical alert devices are another lifeline worth considering, especially ones with fall detection. These can automatically call emergency services if they detect you've collapsed. That means even if you lose consciousness before dialing, help will still come. Yes, they can feel like an unnecessary gadget until the day they're not. And on that day, they become priceless. It's also worth building a daily check-in habit with a friend, neighbor, or family member. It doesn't need to be anything elaborate, just a quick good morning text or call. If you don't send it by a certain time, they know to check on you. That way, if something happens and you can't call for help yourself, someone will notice quickly. There's a lot of peace of mind in knowing someone will realize if something's wrong. Then there's aspirin. We already talked about chewing it during an attack, but let's make sure it's easy to get to. Keep small bottles or blister packs in multiple spots: by your bed, near your favorite chair, in the kitchen, even in your coat pocket if you go for walks. You can't take what you can't reach. The same goes for emergency numbers. If you have a landline, tape them right by the phone. If you use a mobile phone, make sure they're in your speed dial and labeled clearly. Think, too, about how emergency responders will reach you. I mentioned unlocking your door in the moment, but there's another option: a lockbox with a spare key. You can mount it outside your home and give the code to a trusted person or your local EMS if your area supports that. That way, if you can't get to the door, they can get to you without breaking it down. While it's crucial to prepare your home and tools, it's equally important to prepare your body. Knowing the warning signs of a heart attack can help you recognize what's happening sooner. The classic symptoms include chest pain or pressure, discomfort in the arms, back, neck, jaw, or stomach, shortness of breath, sweating, nausea, or lightheadedness. But not everyone has the movie version of a heart attack with dramatic clutching of the chest. Sometimes, it's much subtler: a heavy feeling in the arms, unusual fatigue, or a strange sensation in the upper back. Women in particular are more likely to have these less obvious symptoms. Understanding your own risk factors also matters. High blood pressure, high cholesterol, diabetes, smoking history, family history of heart disease, these all raise your chances. The more you know about your own heart health, the more prepared you'll be to act fast if something feels wrong. That's why regular checkups are so valuable. Even if you feel fine, they help you catch silent problems before they turn into emergencies. And here's something I think we don't talk about enough: practicing. It might sound strange to rehearse for something as serious as a heart attack. But walking through the steps, picking up your phone, calling for help, unlocking the door, sitting down, and chewing aspirin can help make those actions automatic. In an emergency, your mind might not be sharp, but your body can remember. All of this preparation is about giving yourself the best odds. Yes, the idea of having a heart attack alone is frightening, but the point of learning these steps is to replace some of that fear with confidence. You'll know that if the worst happens, you have a plan. and you can act on it without wasting precious time wondering what to do. The truth is, surviving those first few minutes isn't about doing something dramatic. It's about doing the right, simple things, quickly and without hesitation. And once you've done everything you can in that moment, the rest is in the hands of the people who arrive to help. But giving them the chance to get to you while you're still conscious and breathing, that's the gift you give yourself by acting fast. One of the hardest things in any emergency is keeping your mind from racing out of control. The moment your body sends that surge of pain or pressure, your brain tends to leap to panic. That's human nature. But the difference between panic and calm isn't about denying the danger. It's about focusing on the actions you can take right now. Your mind can't be in two places at once. If you give it a job, call, unlock, chew, breathe, it has less room for fear to take over. It can help to think of it like following a recipe you've memorized. You don't need to stop and question whether each step is working. You just move to the next one because you know that's what will give you the best chance. This is why rehearsing matters. And it's also why speaking out loud to yourself during the moment can be powerful. Saying, call 911, unlock the door, chew aspirin, sit down, turns your thoughts into instructions your body can follow. Another key to survival in those first seconds is avoiding the mistakes that cost people their lives. One of the biggest? Waiting to see if it goes away. That maybe it's just heartburn mindset is one of the most dangerous things you can have during a heart attack. If you're wrong, you lose time you'll never get back. The safest approach is to assume it's serious until proven otherwise. If the pain or discomfort eases after a few minutes and it turns out not to be your heart, you can always relax later. But if you wait and it is your heart, you may not get the chance. Another deadly mistake is trying to drive yourself to the hospital. In the movies, it looks heroic. In real life, it's a gamble that too many people lose. Driving with a heart attack can lead to losing consciousness at the wheel, endangering you and others. Calling for professional help gets trained responders to you faster than you can get to them, and they can start treatment on the spot. And then there's the temptation to get up and just do one more thing before sitting down. Maybe you think you should wash the dishes, tidy something, or check the mail first. But every unnecessary movement puts more strain on a heart that's already struggling. Once you've made the call, taken aspirin, and unlocked the door, your only job is to stay as still and calm as possible until help arrives. While you're waiting, controlling your breathing can help you feel less panicked and might help your body work more efficiently. Breathe in slowly through your nose for a count of 4, hold gently for a moment, then exhale through your mouth for a count of 4. This doesn't cure a heart attack, but it can keep you from hyperventilating and can make the wait more bearable. It's also worth mentioning that some people experience what's called a silent heart attack, with very mild or unusual symptoms. It might feel like light fatigue, mild indigestion, or a slight shortness of breath. These can be just as dangerous, so the same rules apply. Don't ignore sudden, unexplained changes in how you feel, especially if they're accompanied by sweating, nausea, or dizziness. Now let's talk about something more uplifting. The goal here isn't to live in fear of every twinge or ache, it's to live with awareness and readiness. Most people who learn these steps never have to use them, but just knowing you could act if needed can give you a deep sense of security. You're not at the mercy of chance, you have a plan, and you've thought about the details. That's empowering. You've probably heard people say, when your time comes, your time comes. But that's only part of the story. There's a lot we can do to influence how our story plays out. Many people survive heart attacks and go on to live for years, sometimes decades, afterward. Some even say that moment was a wake-up call that gave them a new appreciation for life. The difference between those who survive and those who don't often comes down to speed, preparation, and a willingness to act without hesitation. And here's the beautiful part. Every step you've learned here is simple. You don't need medical training, special strength, or expensive equipment. You just need to remember those few key actions and make sure you're ready to take them without delay. That's the power of knowledge. It turns fear into action and gives you control in a moment when it feels like control is slipping away. if you've ever wondered whether learning something like this is worth your time, I hope you see now that it's not just worth it. It could be the thing that keeps you here for the people who love you. 10 seconds may sound short, but it's enough to change the outcome of an entire lifetime. And when those seconds are used wisely, they can mean seeing another sunrise, sharing another laugh, and making more memories. The truth is, we can't control every twist and turn life throws at us, but we can control how prepared we are to meet them. A heart attack is frightening, yes, but it doesn't have to mean helplessness. Every bit of preparation you've thought through, keeping your phone close, having aspirin within reach, knowing the signs, unlocking the door, those are all ways of taking your power back. They turn the unknown into something you can face with clarity instead of confusion. I want you to imagine something different now. Picture yourself months or years from today, sitting in that same chair, maybe with a grandchild on your lap or a dear friend across the table. You're telling them about the time you knew exactly what to do when it mattered most, and how that quick action kept you here for all the moments that followed. That's not just luck. That's you choosing to be ready, you valuing your life enough to act without hesitation. Preparation isn't just about the physical tools. It's about your mindset. It's about seeing your life as worth protecting fiercely and believing you have the ability to protect it. And that belief grows every time you remind yourself what to do, every time you rehearse the steps in your mind, every time you decide not to put it off for someday. Because the truth is, emergencies don't wait for someday. They arrive when they please. And here's something I want to leave you with. Your life is more than your heart's steady beat. It's in the laughter you share, the hands you hold, the little rituals that bring you joy. Every sunrise, every conversation, every moment of stillness, that's what those 10 seconds are really protecting. This isn't just about surviving. It's about preserving the life you've built and the love you've given. So let's make a quiet agreement right now. You and me. Let's agree that from today forward, you'll never brush off unusual chest pain or sudden discomfort. You'll never wait just to see if it passes. You'll take those 10 seconds seriously, you'll act fast, and you'll give yourself the gift of more time. Because your story isn't finished yet. There are still pages left to write. If this conversation today has made you think differently about your health and your safety, I'd love to hear about it. Share your thoughts or experiences in the comments, because you never know. Your story might be the one that encourages someone else to take action when it matters. If you found this helpful, please give it a like so more people can find it, and subscribe to the channel for more life-saving, life-enhancing advice for living your best years. Here's to a future where you feel ready for anything, where fear takes a backseat to confidence, and where you know in your bones that you are capable of protecting your own life, even in the most critical moments. 10 seconds. That's all it takes to turn the worst moment into a second chance. And I believe with all my heart, you've got what it takes to make those seconds count.